Well, it is the end of day one, and my voice is a little rough because I'm tired, not out of dread, but just it was a really amazing spiritual walk tonight. And the singing and the praising and the listening and the being, I think I'm physically and emotionally tired, but so at peace and inspired and humbled in so many different ways. This last session were a lot of really strong women leaders that came up and shared personal stories, stories of inspiration. They maybe lasted from 5 minutes to 30 minutes, and it was just so cool just to, like, one after the other, just to experience these women's incredible messages that they had for us.
And their hearts for God, too, because what their main message was they were just calling us to return our hearts to God and begging Him to come down and be in our presence, but then just really having us do not just self-reflection, but the thing that really has made an impression on me, not just with these past few speakers, but even with Rebecca Lyons, who talked earlier, is just the focus that they have on revival, and not just personal revival, but a corporate revival for our generation and for our country and for our world, with all the different things that some of the speakers have listed that are injustices and just tragedies and travesties that are going on in our world today that I know touch all our hearts, but this just made me feel like, yes, we have a power over this because of the power of Christ in us. So.
And it was more about me. You know, this isn't a conference. This isn't like something you go to what's my purpose. This is like, which there's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, it's more. It's about awareness of our world and the power that we have to make a difference in our world.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think their audience is really like, okay, you're freed from your bondage, you're freed from your slavery. We're still wandering a little bit in the wilderness. Yeah. What steps are you taking to get to the promised land and bring as many people along with you as possible?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely feel, and I have to say this, like, people say, well, what is if? I think before tonight, I was like, I don't know, it's really great.
Yeah.
And I'm going to go to it.
Is it like a Bible study? Is it like a retreat? What is it?
Yeah. It's none of that.
Yeah.
It's more.
Yeah.
It's action. It's power. Bob Goff and Sweet Marie, that's what it was. Sweet Marie came, and they are just so about love and loving one another. And I have to say, on a side note, he told us a little secret tonight about husbands. So if you happen to have a husband or plan to have one day, thank you. The advice that he gave us, and I want to call it secret advice, was that husbands secretly think that they are not the man that we want them to be. And so that's kind of how they feel all the time, most men. And the advice that Bob gave was to tell your man what you see him becoming.
Ugh.
Because oftentimes, guilty is charged. I will show Shad where he's going wrong, and possibly how he could improve, in a loving way,
Or not. Just saying.
Yeah. I totally high five on that. So the way he said that was just like, tell him what he's becoming. And I thought, genius. And so I wrote that. I've been writing in the back of my journal, these what if things, like, just for me.
I don't think
and that's okay, because it's kind of personal. Like, what if? And I'm like putting these things down that scare me to death. What if I blank? And one of them was, what if I solely was an encourager to Shad? And that's it. And let God do the refining. And that's difficult because I struggle with pride and criticism.
And wanting
and
to be
judgment,
right.
And wanting to be right. Thanks.
Because we are.
Yeah. So anyways, it was really, I loved that piece of advice from Bob. And last but not least, I wanted to mention this. Ann Boskamp left us with some things to meditate on. And we got to meditate on them during the time that we were there, but I actually wrote them down so I could meditate on them when I'm alone. Because I know God in His silence will reveal to me a lot more than what He did tonight. So one of them is can we look at our unspoken fears and then write them down? Meditate on unseen jealousy. I have unseen jealousy about, like,
And I have secret pride in, like things that you're prideful in, different areas that no one else knows about.
yeah, that I can reveal my closeted sin that I haven't told anybody about.
Okay, and is there any buried dishonesty about anything?
And I have, like, what is my continual lack? And for example, I wrote my lack of belief that God truly is for me. I'm having a hard time with that right now.
And then also she asked us to reflect on what are our disguised indulgences. What do we indulge in when it's kind of disguised as something else?
Something good, maybe. And then acknowledging our ulterior motives in things. So, like, I don't know, I'm doing this so that people will like me, for example. So, anyways, those are some really wonderful things to meditate on and to let the Holy Spirit move within you. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning. We love you.
Sweet dreams. Bye.